Welcome to the quarterfinal review. We had 32 games to play this past week. This week, with the semifinals, we're narrowing it down to 16. So let's look at some plays from this past week. I'm going to start off with a bit of controversial play. We're going to have what's apparently a attempted hook and ladder. What you don't see after this play is that a player from the red team runs downfield. This is the last play of the game, and what he thinks is a touchdown after the officials already ran off the field. A couple things we want to look at in this play. First, we want to look at the actual actions of the play and the receiver. And then we want to look at what the officials, or talk about what the officials could have done to mitigate some of the controversy. First and foremost, this is an incomplete pass, and we'll talk about why. For a complete pass, you have to have control of the ball, possession, which possession is control of the ball, and a foot on the ground. So the first thing is, does he have control of this ball with the foot on the ground? And it's close, but to me, if you slow it down, it looks like the ball is coming out of his hands before his foot actually touches the ground. It may have some help from the defender here. It may not. Doesn't really matter. If the ball is out before his foot hits the ground, this is an incomplete pass. It's close, but remember, we operate on the auspice of when in doubt, it is incomplete. So that's one thing. And if that's the case, this is simply just a batted ball that falls incomplete. An eligible receiver can bat a forward pass in any direction. Once he bats, if it hits the ground, then it is incomplete. So this does not meet the requirements of a catch under the National Federation of High School standards. So what could the officials done to kind of mitigate things here? First of all, the umpire could signal incomplete pass. The headline judge does signal incomplete pass. You can't see it, but he does signal incomplete pass. Umpire can mirror that, and that would help things out. Second thing, the referee come in here, hold the ball over his head, which would indicate the end of the game. So we do those two things, and maybe the reaction to this play isn't as heated. But the officials ultimately did get the call on the field correct. Look at a couple of targetings. The first one's a good one. Over the middle, or to the side. Offensive receiver. Defender's going to launch and aim high. One thing I also want to point out, the signals of this referee. These are good signals. They're crisp. They're methodical. When you have crisp and methodical signals like this, it makes you look confident. When you kind of rush through the signals, you look hesitant, you look unsure. But when you're crisp and methodical like this, that shows confidence in the call. So look at these slower angles. We can more clearly see the launch and the contact to the head or neck area. There's the launch, and he goes high. This second angle is a lot better. There's a launch. You can see helmet to helmet. They do collide. That is forceful contact. And he kind of leads with the shoulder there too. That shoulder goes high to the head and neck area as well. So this is a good call, despite what Brian Jordan said. And I keep going back all season how the defender can avoid this call, stay on the ground, keep your head up, and wrap up. Defender does those three things, he's not getting called for this hit. But when you launch, when you go high, when you kind of come in with that head down, you're putting yourself at risk to get called for targeting. Second play is a little harder to call. It's harder to tell, especially when you have the receiver kind of ducking down like that. I would also like to see a quicker flag from the wing official. It comes in kind of late, but at the same time, these plays happen fast. Sometimes you got to process them. Again, the signals here are going to be nice and crisp, methodical. Again, that shows confidence in the call that was made. You can see the crisp, real methodical. He's standing still. See a lot of officials moving while they're signaling. Don't do that. So go back and look at the actual play. And like I said, it's hard when the ball carrier is coming down, but as you can see, he comes in, the head is down, he's coming in with the crown of the helmet. There's not really a launch, but he's coming in with the crown of the helmet. Both of them are. So these players got to keep those heads up. When they lower their heads like that, especially when they're not really wrapping up, they're putting themselves at risk to be called for targeting. If they have their heads up, they're most likely not going to get a targeting call. Fast forward to the end of this kickoff. Well, watch. This poor little kicker here is going to get blown up. So we go back and look at this. We slow it down. Again, we have a launch, and it is high. It's hard to tell where the force of that contact is. It kind of appears to be in the chest, but then you see that kind of forearm come up, and there is helmet-to-helmet contact. Remember, not all helmet-to-helmet contact is going to be targeting. It has to be forceful contact to the head or neck area. And a launch is not always indicative of a targeting as well. You can have a launch and not have targeting, but when we have a launch and there's forceful contact above the shoulders, then we know that we have targeting. So this one's hard to tell. Obviously, we want to err in the side of player safety. So if there's doubt and you think he probably got him high, go ahead and flag it. Because again, if he stays low, he doesn't launch, he's not gonna get this call. This is the back judge could help on that. Probably primarily the field judge, though. He's looking right at it. Back judge would be helpful in seeing the angle and whether or not the contact was forceful or not. Another targeting we're going to call right here at the end of the play. There's a pile up. He's going to come in and we call this targeting. And again, it's hard to tell whether or not this call is correct. You do have a launch. You do have leading with the shoulder toward the head and neck area. It's just a matter of, is there forceful contact? Hard to tell here. Again, though, we err on the side of player caution. But definitely want to keep. We don't want players launching and leading with that head, leading with the shoulder or crown of the helmet to another player's head and neck area, especially a defenseless player like this. All right, let's look at a couple of DPIs. This one, remember with a DPI, you want to ask yourself, first of all, is this a fall into a category? Second of all, is the receiver trying to get the defender trying to get the ball from getting to the receiver, or trying to keep the receiver from getting to the ball? And in this one, I would probably pass on this. This is, the ball's still in the quarterback's hand when the contact occurs. And it's not really clear that the receivers are running a route. It looks like he's kind of coming out the block, and then he cuts in. I mean, I know it's a slant, but he did not deter the receiver off his route too much. Receiver still had a great chance to catch that pass. And again, is he trying to keep the receiver from getting to the ball? Not really. The second one, a lot more clear. A DPI. Defender's not playing the ball, and he's going to make contact before the before the ball gets to the receiver. You're going to see it. Another angle, slow motion. He's not playing the ball. He's, and honestly, in high school, it's a good foul. If you think that receiver's definitely going to catch it, then go ahead and foul him, because all it is 15 yards and repeat the down. So, it's not really a bad idea to commit pass interference in the end zone. But it's definitely here. You have early contact. This is a clear advantage gained, and he's clearly just trying to prevent the defender from getting to the ball, prevent the receiver from getting to the ball. All right, we're gonna flag. We flag this illegal shift. You see this halfback to the quarterback's left leaves early. Look at the wingback leaves early too. So you really have three in motion here. But we just want to kill this play and flag it as a false start. And you have rule to back that up. 717A does state that a shift that simulates the snap is a false start. And that's what this action is. This is simulating the snap before the snap actually occurs. So rather than live ball foul, illegal shift, just go ahead and kill this. It's a false start. Anytime you have a running back leaving early like that, just go ahead and kill it. It's a false start. And again, like I said, you have rule reference to back it up. 717A does explicitly state that a shift can be a false start. It should be a false start. We flag OPI here. And again, OPI, you kind of want to look at the same thing. You just kind of switch the roles. Is the receiver trying to keep the defender from getting to the ball unfairly, or is he trying to get the ball from getting to the receiver or to the defender? We look at the slow motion replay, and this is bang bang. I think the ball does get there a tad early. And with OPI, you want to be clear and decisive, and this is not clear and decisive. This is bang bang. Again, I think the ball did get there just a tad bit early. It seems like it's just a good play by the receiver. So again, we will want to let this one go. Here we're going to have a backward pass that's scooped and scored for a touchdown. It does appear to be backward. As you can see, it's thrown from the 15. Thrown from the 15. It's going to be caught at the 14. So that would appear to be a clear backward pass. Problem is we don't have any kind of signal from either wing official. We got to have a signal here for either backward or forward. Either way, we need to have a signal. And we don't have one here. So again, proper mechanics, proper signaling, we can kind of mitigate any kind of controversy, reaction, or anything. Just let's get a signal out, either backward or forward. And again, it does appear to be backward, but we still need a signal. Scrimmage kick, there's going to be a muff, and we're going to have a flag for kick catch interference. It's hard to tell the KCI. I'm not going to say whether or not it's right or wrong because the film's not great. But we can point out the positioning of the deeps, and they're simply not in position to make this call. As a back judge, you want to maintain 5x5 no matter what. You want to pretend that there's a string tied from your waist to that returner's waist, and you want to keep that string tight at 5 yards back and 5 yards wide, always from the inside out angle. And the back judges, you have this returner from sideline to sideline. Our starting position is bad. Looks like we're directly behind them. We need to be about right here. Again, 5x5. And then as he goes, as he adjusts, you adjust with him, keeping that 5x5. So when this muff happens, we should be about right here. If we're here, we have a great angle right there to see, first of all, yes, there was a muff, and was there any kind of KCI to interfere with that. And from where we are right now, we're just not in the angle. We don't have an angle to see that. Last play, we're going to have, we call encroachment. We also have pop-up kick here. It is hard to tell from the video, but on the field you can distinctly hear the double pop of the foot striking the ball and then the ball immediately striking the ground. But again, we have a clear encroachment by this player right here. Umpire calls it, and that encroachment negates the actual pop-up kick foul. So if you have encroachment, but you also have the pop-up kick, the encroachment supersedes it, because with that encroachment, the play is dead immediately, and the pop-up kick never occurred. Same thing here. This ball goes out of bounds, but you're not going to flag the ball going out of bounds or the kick going out of bounds because you have encroachment that supersedes it. Never happened. So you just go with the encroachment, 5 yards, re-kick. All right, good luck to all of you who are working in the semifinals. Congratulations. And have a good game. Stay safe. Stay focused.